The Orcas. The Orca and her successor, the Orca II, are a pair of scout-class submarines designed to prioritize high speed and maneuverability for exploration and combat situations in a variety of environments. Hailing from the Europan Ridge, the original Orca was built as an interceptor as much as a scout craft. The vessel's high speeds and heavy emphasis on smaller armament was inspired by Europa's own hammerheads, with first edition technical manuals even encouraging Orca crews to engage in ramming maneuvers, but this section was quickly removed due to the egregious cost of materials spent on repairs, let alone the crews lost in attempts to roadkill Molochs. This intent for limited operational range despite the Orca's high speed led to some interesting compromises in the original design. The designers came to the conclusion that rather than utilizing or sourcing pre-made reactors from reputable manufacturers such as Horn and Wang, they should instead attempt to investigate local alternatives. Eventually, the design team selected Outpost Secundus and its workshops as a manufacturer. However, that outpost's own long and tragic story put incredibly short, the few reactors they managed to get their hands on were third-generation hand-me-downs and patchwork refits. Nonetheless, however, these poorly engineered monstrosities became the standard for Orca construction. Its few glaring engineering choices aside, the Orca remains a standout submarine across the board. Coming in at just over 40 meters in length, the Orca has a cargo capacity of 8 standard containers, paired with a full suite of industrial and medical fabrication equipment for the production of fuel, ammunition, or medical supplies on longer journeys. The Orca does benefit from an oversized Coulomb model electromagnetic propulsion system, allowing it an average top cruising speed of 26 km per hour. Its ample ballast systems, in turn, provide a descent velocity of 15 km per hour. As stated earlier, the Orca is unfortunately chained to a poorly designed Secundus-produced reactor of no official designation. This reactor puts out a paltry 3,500 kilowatts and consumes a higher than average amount of fuel, resulting in frequent brownouts if the engines are overfed or the reactor pushed over an 80% fission rate without supplementing additional fuel. The armament is often considered light when compared to assault-class submarines, but it's important to remember the Orca was designed not as a gunship, but as a lighter harassment vessel. Included, standard, are a pair of Volt-model coil guns along the forward and mid-sail, a Stinger electrical discharge system mounted at the mid-keel, and a dump-it internal depth charge tube, along with a final hardpoint located at the rear keel. All the Orca's speed and maneuverability, along with some complications of design from its hydrodynamic hull, make its 9,000 mark price point surprisingly reasonable. As time went on, however, the shortcomings of the Orca's reactor and the futility of its role as an interceptor led to a wave of investigations and inquiries into the processes at its home station on the Ridge. In response, and in an attempt to save face, the Orca II was drafted and designed, a retrofit designed to solve most of the original's problems, but functionally a near-identical ship. The exception being a few modifications to better suit its role as a true scout vessel. When compared to the original, the Orca II boasts a more powerful reactor at a 4,000 kilowatt output, though it carries over the fuel efficiency issues from its predecessor. Several sections of dead space were cut from the hull, reducing the overall footprint of the submarine and reducing cavitation when traveling at high speed. The cargo capacity, however, was also reduced to 4 standard containers in order to supplement space for additional dive suit lockers at the submarine's airlocks. Finally, the Stinger discharge system was removed in order to make budget for one of the coil guns to be upgraded to a Galley model chain gun. This was placed at the central sail, and the forward coil gun shifted to the central keel. In spite of these changes, the Orca II remains a true side grade, as the other compromises result in no change of price point when compared to the original Interceptor. In short, the Orcas are a pair of scout vessels with great potential. The failings of the design team mean that in unskilled hands, the submarines are little more than junkers, but in the hands of a skilled crew, and with some careful modification, These ships can easily outperform any other scout class on the market.